Hi, I'm Jonas and this is Sublime Media. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Yes, I'm going to tackle the impossible task of... I went through my entire collection, pulled almost 80 records, I think, of stuff that is a little bit more obscure on the obscure side, of songs that, to me, is 11 out of 10 in grade. The first time I heard these songs, it was like that sort of earth-shattering moment, really, but not on the commercial side. So no Dylans, no Neil Youngs, no King Crimson, you know. I'm gonna do 10 at a time. So in this first episode I'm gonna do 10 records, and this is a challenge for you. So comment the songs that you know about, that you have heard, and what you think of them. Also subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and give the thumbs up. I mean, this is the easiest way to support my channel. So yeah, 10 songs, 10 records. Here we go. I guess you can see this sort of like a playlist of sorts. You can just go on YouTube or Spotify, seek them out, these songs, and play them, see for yourself. In my opinion, these are some of the best songs that have ever been written and put to wax. So at least it should be interesting if you follow my channel to check some of these tracks out. I'm gonna start with a bang, like 1967. This is one of my all-time favorite records, and I got this the first time when I was like maybe 12 years old, something like that, from an uncle of mine. This is The Smoke. It's Smoke Time. I think it's a British band, but they only hit it big in Germany, so it was put out on the Metronome label in Germany. And the song that blew me away, even at 12 years old, it still blows me away every time I hear it, is My Friend Jack. The sort of hit single in this case for The Smoke. They only did one record, disappeared into nothingness, which is just so a shame, because they did a magnificent job on this one. So check out My Friend Jack, the first entry in this insane list of mine. So if you don't know, I'm from Sweden, so every single video I think will at least include one Swedish entry. So obviously for you Swedes out there, most of these you will probably have heard about. Comment if you do. But outside of Sweden, maybe there are some people that doesn't have a clue about this. So this is a fairly new record to be me in my collection, because I only sort of collect really 60s, 70s music. But this is a 2000s record. When I heard this the first time, my jaw dropped. Like, I was so impressed with what they could do with this song, a traditional song, and sort of the entire sort of mood and vibe. And I actually picked a live record because they did a rendition of this song on a studio record also, but I think that this is even better, even more moody. So the band I'm talking about is the Swedish band Agusa, and this is live in Rome. 2 LP set, fantastic and great sound quality also. But the song that really stands out to me is the last song on the last side. It takes up the entire side, and it's called Ut I vår hage. Have it, I think you can see there, Ut I vår hage. It's sort of a traditional song that is played on like summer in schools and stuff like that, but it has a super dark edge to it, because the flowers that they sing about in the song, this is all instrumental, but in the song, the flowers that they sing about and herbs is actually back in the day for miscarriage. So if you did a brew of these, you had a miscarriage. So it was sort of like an infomercial for people that was pregnant. Yeah, Agusa, live in Rome, great song. Ut I vår hage, fantastic song, fantastic version of that. Okay, so now we move to 1976, and the first time I heard this, I went to this huge collection. I bought this huge collection with 3 buddies of mine. It was a lot of punk and 70s stuff, like late 70s, new wave and so forth. And I think it was like 400 or 600 records, and we the entire day we divided the records in between, and you know, we pulled first, we took one each, then we took three each and stuff like that, and then we just like started to to take individual artists. And I think that me and a buddy of mine divided this artist or this group in between each other. So I had no idea about them. I had no idea about this record and this song. When I came home, I put it on. I had no expectations at all. It just like floored me. The sound and the sort of the production, it sounded so modern. I couldn't believe it was from 1976 and that I hadn't heard it before. Now this is 15 years ago at least. Anyway, what I'm talking about is this. This is Flamin Groovies, Shake Some Action, and the song I'm talking about is the title itself, Shake Some Action. First song, first side. I can't really say that I'm a huge fan of Flamin Groovies. I don't have much of their stuff. I don't feel like it's like music you write home about. But this record from 1976, it's a fucking masterpiece. One of my favorite songs of all time since I heard it 15 years ago. Shake Some Action. Okay, so next one we have to move to the US, and I got this not too long ago, like maybe 5 years ago, something like that. And I got it on a sort of a hunch because I hadn't heard this. I noticed that it wasn't that common here in Sweden or in Europe per se. Not an expensive record, and it just looked interesting. So I got it home. I lowered the stylus and started to play it, and the first song just floored me. The energy, shit. And I'm gonna cheat here because I could pick the first song, but the second one is as good as that one. And I'm talking about 1970, the Fort Mudge Memorial Dump. I think they only released one record, and this from 1970 on the Mercury label. So it's a major label, but I don't think that everyone has heard this, and you should. It's a great record all the way through. But the first two songs, Mr. Man, that starts it all off, 2 minutes and 40 seconds, great one, and then Crystal Forms, which is, I think, even better. Okay, so if I have to, gun to my head, choose one song, it's Crystal Forms. So yeah, 1970, US, the Fort Mudge Memorial Dump. So the next one is probably the one that I'm gonna get most shit for in the comments, because this is a major artist, not as obscure at all, but I have to say, like, when we show and when we talk about this artist, when I talked with friends and stuff like that, no one has heard this song with the artist or listened to this record. And I mean, I urge everyone, this is by far the best song of his career, in my opinion. Yeah, okay, I'll shut up. 1968. I'm talking about Frank Sinatra. I don't have many Frank Sinatra records in my collection. It's nothing that I collect and listen to that often. But when I heard the title track, Cycles, the first time, I was just like... I mean, I had a perception or a set mind of how or who Frank Sinatra was. And I've heard a lot of Sinatra songs throughout my childhood and stuff like that, and my parents played, but you know, the commercial stuff. But this 1968, a little bit later in his career, I mean, the mood, his voice, it's just like 1 plus 1 equal 3. It's just like it's almost like a cry for help, or it could be like the deathbed songs. I don't know, but if you haven't heard Cycles by Frank Sinatra, I urge everyone to check it out. And if you have, if it's a part of your knowledge bank, I'm sorry that I included it if it's not as obscure as others, but I had to include it. It's a 10 out of 10 in my book. It's an amazing... The record is good, but nothing beats the song. So yeah, Cycles with Frank Sinatra, Cheap Heat. Okay, so the next one is definitely not Cheap Heat. If you want an original of this, you have to shell out like $2,000 maybe, or euro, something like that. I actually have a reissue from 2008 that with a limited edition colored vinyl, yeah, blah blah blah. So yeah, this is the jazz album that I included in this video. I'm going to showcase at least one jazz record in each of these videos. I mean, when I heard this the first time, this is, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, something like that. It almost was like, is it jazz? Yeah, obviously it's jazz. It's just like, it's so beautiful and so much energy. It's hard to describe, really. Obviously all instrumental. You have to check it out for yourself. The song is 11 minutes, so it's a long one, but it's builds and builds. It's amazing. And I'm talking about Minimbool with Terje Rypdal, Bjørnar Andresen and Espen Ruud. So this is from 1970 in Norway. I think it looks like this, almost like when the original press. Don't know. I don't think that it was a gatefold, and put out on Polydor, if I'm not mistaken. The song I'm talking about is the last song on the A side, called Champagne, of course, 11 minutes long, where I think that Terje Rypdal, he is a god guitarist. I mean, shit. And 1970, this is an early one for him. He plays his heart out on this one, but he actually also doubles a little bit in saxophone, which is kind of cool. It's not like the best saxophone you've ever heard, but it suits the mood and the song and the record perfectly. The rest of the record is also very, very good, but nothing beats that song. One of my favorite jazz songs of all time. Champagne, of course, with Minimbool. So I obviously have a soft spot for female loner folk. I mean, who hasn't? And I had to include this. I don't know if this is like super obscure. I think that many of you that watches my channel have heard this song and this artist. But I mean, to me, just sharing my collection, sharing my knowledge, and sharing the songs that I love is you know, it's so much fun. So I'm including this. Now, please comment if you know about this, and maybe comment also if you don't know about this, because I think that if you haven't heard this, and if you're into this sort of music, this should be almost life-changing for you. And I'm talking about Judy Sill. So this is Heart Food, her second and last, I think, record. Super duper tragic artist. I haven't read anything. Maybe I saw a documentary or something like that. But I think she prostituted herself, and it was just like really hard into drugs and so forth. And the song that I'm talking about is the second song on the first side, called A Kiss. The first time I heard this at a friend's house, it was a jazz bassist, a friend of mine, who recommended it. He put it on Spotify or something like that. And I was just floored. Like, is this even possible? How can I not have heard this song throughout my entire life? Maybe I was like 28, 30 years old, something like that. It was just like mind-blowingly good, and yeah, it stayed with me ever since. The first time I did a mixtape, an actual mixtape for my wife, the song was included on the mixtape. It's a beautiful piece. Great voice, awesome production. Also a little bit of a major label. It's Asylum Records that did Eagles. Maybe something that most people have heard, but if you haven't, please check it out. The Kiss with Judy Sill. 73. Okay, so moving back to the US, 1969. This is again one of those moments when I heard it, like everything stopped and the earth shook. Like, I think it's one of my absolute favorite songs of all time. Maybe on my top 10, I don't know. But it's one that I can listen to anytime, any day. It's a magnificent song. And I'm talking about Farewell Aldebaran with Udensky and Jerry Gester. So 1969, if you don't know this, get it or try it out. Like, listen to it. It's a magnificent record. It's not super expensive, like maybe for a good copy, like 30, 40, 50 euros, something like that, maybe, inside of the gatefold. But the song that will be on my forever and ever list is Rapture on the second side. I think third song, something like that. It's an amazing piece. And I've listened to a lot of versions of this. I never heard a great sounding version of it, so I don't know what happened during the recording session. It would be nice to hear this on a sort of audiophile press or something like that, but it will never happen. The impact of her voice in that song just like builds, and it's so magnificent. It's magic. It's 11 out of 10, definitely. Yeah, so for Farewell Aldebaran, Jerry Gester and Judy Henske, 1969, with the song Rapture. So again, USA, again 1969 actually, not on the same label. I think that this is kind of obscure, at least. I never heard it before. A good friend of mine, Linus, hooked me onto this. Because he asked me if I could help him to hunt down a copy of this, and I had no idea about the record. So obviously I went on, Spotify or YouTube and checked it out, and yeah, what I heard was incredible. Now I actually found a copy, a reissue for him, and he was super happy. But the hunt started to find an original press, and I did actually a sealed copy. So I'm super happy with that. And the record I'm talking about is Harlan County by Jim Ford. So still in Shrink, 1969. And Harlan County, this sort of... I think Harlan County was like a strike, something like that. Don't take my word for it. You can Google and watch for yourself. But the storytelling in that song is amazing. But what really stands out, in my opinion, is that Jim Ford is able to do the biggest sort of white soul record I've ever heard. There are like horns and there are guitars, and it just like swings like a mother. This song, Harlan County, first track, and the rest of the record is fantastic, like an 8 out of 10 if you take the entire record. But Harlan County, that song just like blew me away. So thank you so much, Linus, for tipping me off about that. Jim Ford, Harlan County, 1969 US. Check it out. So last but definitely not least, this is a huge favorite of mine, and I'm so glad to have a first press of this. Took me a while to find one for a good price and good condition. Now I shouldn't say that I collect Will Malone records. I have his self-titled record, and obviously that is the most expensive one. But it just like happens to I buy them when I find them, other related Will Malone records. If you haven't checked that out, check that out also. It's a great record. But I wanted to showcase this because of one song. Now, Orange Bicycle, 1970, they recorded this in Morgan Bluetown. I think that Will Malone and the other guys, they were like involved in Morgan Bluetown, the studio. So they were working there and was recording engineers and stuff like that. So I think sort of a producer's music, maybe. Anyway, on the Parlophone label. So, Orange Bicycle, they only released this record. It's very easy to like. It's like half of the songs are Elton John covers. You have Lady Samantha, which they do a great version of. Let's see here. Take Me to the Pilot, which is also really, really good. I don't know. Maybe they cut a 45 of that. Tonight I'll be Staying Here With You by Bob Dylan. Great one. But the song that, in my opinion, just when I heard it, it rocked my world. It's so hauntingly good. It's a beautiful, beautiful ballad, and it's called Make It Rain. So check that out if you haven't heard it. Make It Rain with Orange Bicycle, 1970 UK Will Malone related record. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece and definitely one of my favorite songs in my collection. So I hope you liked that. Please comment if you have heard any of these, and also if you check them out on YouTube or Spotify or whatever, please let me know what you think of them. I mean, I'm up for all comments, even if it's negative. If you don't like the songs, let me know that also. I mean, let's have a discussion going after you've seen the video. So yeah, hope to see you in the next part of this sort of series or installment. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone.